Hi, welcome everyone to DepressionYouAreNotAlone.com. Behind the camera is John. You want to say hello?
Actually, I'm next to the camera. I'm not behind it.
My name is Lou. Shannon and Lily will not be here today. They have things going on. A lot of stuff going on. Shannon and Lily, for those of you that watch our videos, you know Shannon and Lily is our chocolate lab. Today I wanted to talk about something that I met a young man yesterday, 20-year-old young man, who impressed me so much that I had told John and Shannon that I wanted to do an episode about this. Oftentimes we're a little hard on young people. Sometimes, not because we don't like young people.
Yeah, but there's always that occasional one that stands out.
That makes you feel like there's hope.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so many young people, what do you want to do? Oh, I want to become a record producer. Why? Oh, because I want to have cars and I want to have a mansion and this, you know, all the wrong reasons. Nothing wrong with having goals to be successful in life, of course, nothing wrong with that. But it's, in my opinion, for the wrong reasons, right? So this young man told me he wants to compose classical music. It's a passion of his. He said he's come to realize that many people love classical music, and he does. And my advice to him was, you need to worry about what you enjoy, what you want to do, your passion. I had told him, you're going to be much better at what you do if you're passionate about it. He never mentioned money. He never mentions fame.
That's with anything. If you have passion for what you want to do, what you're doing, you're going to be good at it, and you're going to succeed.
And I told him, as I told my daughters when they were young, make sure you really, really enjoy what you're doing as far as your career goes, because odds are you're going to be doing it for a very long time. And you'll be better at it if it's something you thoroughly enjoy. This young man, too, apparently he's working on issues of his own. He had mentioned when he was younger, I guess he had gotten in some trouble. Things that, you know, things happen when people are young, make mistakes. And he told me that he was looking back at the mistakes he's made and to trying to not make any more mistakes, which I told him, okay, that I have to tell you is not realistic. You will make mistakes, and mistakes are actually valuable because you learn from them. I said the only negative to making mistakes is you make them over and over and over.
But it's a learning experience, if you're willing to learn from them. And
he agreed. We talked about a lot of different things, but he said something that really stuck out to me, and I had to go back to it. I actually said, I'm going to have to cut you off. And he said, yes, sir. And I said, I want to just go back to something you said. And that was when he told me that he's analyzing his patterns, his past patterns. Now, to me, I was very impressed to hear a 20-year-old say that.
Yeah, because not many of them are going to do that.
Not even many adults.
No.
In all honesty, not even many adults. That is an advantage to having a good therapist or a psychiatrist if you have issues, is that they try to get you to do those things. But still, not everyone is capable of it. So this young man told me that, and I said, I told him, I was so impressed with you saying that it just stuck in my head. Even as you're talking, I'm still thinking about you saying that. And I told him, listen, you're really on your way. Whatever issues you may have, you're really on your way to correcting them. And you have goals to do something you enjoy. Again, like I said, he wasn't talking about, oh, I want to do this because there's money in it. Right? I want to do it because he wants to do it. That's what he wants to do. He told me this weekend it was going to be a weekend of research, is what he told me. Weekend of writing and researching, which I was very impressed with. And like I said, again, he had some issues, I guess, growing up. And here he is looking to correct those issues at a young age, to move forward into something that, listen, I think is really cool. Composing classical music.
Yeah.
You know, it's in these days, it's not all that is common.
There still is
That genre of music
there are a
for
lot of
a
people.
20-year-old.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that still like classical music, but
And jazz
classical
and-
music has evolved too.
as everything.
I mean, there's
as
the old,
everything does.
Some of the old, Beethoven, Bach, some of that stuff, which a lot of people don't care for. But classical music has evolved, and that's probably what he might be doing.
Well, what he said is he wanted to do his own original
Yeah.
own original thing.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I thought, for me, I was very impressed. Like I said, I know we're very hard on young people sometimes.
Deservedly.
For some, they know everything. They don't want to hear anything. And here I'm talking to this young man. I just met him, and he wanted to listen to me. He wanted to listen. He wanted to take things in. There's not enough of that with young people, and that's part of being young, of course. I think social media makes it, of course, a little harder. That's another thing, too, we need to say. We're not anti-social media.
No, social media does serve a purpose.
It serves a purpose, and you know what? I think it's great in many cases. Like I'm on Twitter, and when someone's struggling with something or something's going on, you see people tweeting support for someone. I mean, it can serve a great purpose. Of course, then you have those that are using it to attack people.
Yeah.
And break people down, and whether it's...
And bully people.
And bully
everything
people.
else.
Which our suggestion we've made in the past is to just totally ignore those people.
And block them.
Block them, ignore them, waste of time. We don't need that in our lives. We need interaction like I had with this young man. That's what we need, positive interaction, to see a young person with a goal for the right reason.
And the kid was really polite too, right?
Super polite. And he was like a sponge. He wanted to hear me give my opinions.
Right.
Respectful, would listen, not talking over me, not with glancing at his phone. He was very focused on our conversation. And I interact with a lot of young people, and we don't always get that when we're talking to a young person.
I try to stay away from them.
You don't always get that. And of course, when they have their cell phones in their hand, you're trying to have a conversation, and they're looking at their cell phone. Things like that, it makes it hard. Makes it hard to get a point across, or to even sometimes just give up. I mean, if it's someone you barely know, you're like, okay, I'm not going to waste my time.
No, they've gotten so addicted to these cell phones, they can't concentrate on anything else.
Yeah, I can't waste my time with someone I don't know, try to help them out, whatever, if they're not even paying attention to me. They're in and out, in and out, in and out. Their attention span is not there. No, and plus it's disrespectful. But I thought, I remember I told you yesterday, it was after I spoke to him.
Yeah.
After I spoke to him, I want to bring him up, because to me it made me feel good, because sometimes it's very depressing when you see where things are headed.
Oh, yeah.
Where things are headed. You start to feel like, oh my God, where is this ending up? And then every now and then you meet someone like that.
You get a glimmer of hope for the future.
And I told him, really try to get it in his head. Listen, man, I even said to him, you want to get from point A to point B, you want to accomplish this. I said, it's not going to be a straight line. I said, you're going to zigzag.
Yeah.
You're going to make mistakes. You're going to learn from the mistakes, and I think he's the kind of kid that is going to learn from mistakes.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like it.
He sounds like he's going to say, wow, I could have done that better. I should have done that better. And I told him that. And don't ever give up because you make mistakes. Because remember, too, he also had other issues that, on a personal level,
which he's dealing with.
Which he's working on. So he's really, really working on himself. And when I hear a 20-year-old telling me the things he told me, and then when I know 50-year-olds that aren't there.
Yeah.
They're not there. It's encouraging. It's encouraging, a little depressing, a little demoralizing when you know that other people much older with much more experience under their belt aren't. All you can do is try to help them, and hopefully family and friends try to help them, or professional help if they need it. This young man, I think, is getting professional help as well. I've heard many things that he said sounded like they were from Therapy.
Okay, well, that's a good thing.
That's how it came across to me. Absolutely. So if he's going through therapy because he's had issues in the past when he was younger, he said, and he didn't want to get in trouble, he wanted to get on track.
He basically decided he wanted to do something with his life.
And the nice thing is,
He's on the way to it.
it seems like he is getting help, professional help, and it's clicking. It's clicking.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of problem with a lot of young people is, okay, yeah, whatever. They don't want to hear anything. They don't want to hear anything.
Here, talk to the phone. It's not talk to the hand anymore.
Yeah, now it's
talk
the
to the phone.
We were young. I'm sure we frustrated our parents when we were young. I think to a different degree than today's youth, because we didn't have the cell phones in our hands. We didn't have the TV, a bazillion channels. We didn't have, all of that. We would go outside and play, which a lot of kids
Yeah, play in the dirt,
Don't
drink
do.
from the water hose.
drink from the water
outside.
hose. Tasted like crap, but whatever.
Yeah, well, that's-
Survived it.
If you let it run, it won't taste like hose anymore.
Yeah, and you have to let it cool down too, because it
Yeah.
came out of the hose burning, scalding hot.
Yeah.
We're outside here. It's 85 degrees, partly sunny. As we say all the time, we try to get outside, get out of the house, have a view of things, sounds. We do that all the time. I do it every day. Every day I avoid being in the house unless I'm working and I don't have a choice, of course.
Yeah, so do I. I go out every day.
But to think about that, I talk to so many people, I meet so many people, and this young man stuck out. It would have been nicer if he was one of many.
Unfortunately, it's not the case.
But you know what I mean, right? Didn't really stick out because he's one of many that I've met that have the mentality he has. No, he's not. He was rare.
Yeah,
He's rare, unique,
that's why he stuck out.
focused, passionate, highly respectful, listened, and wanted more, wanted to listen more. Didn't want to talk over me. I let him speak, he let me speak. We had one of the best conversations I've had with anyone in a long, long time. And I think that's worthy of bringing up. For young, let's face it, people sometimes get into careers or things for the wrong reason. There are people who become doctors, shouldn't be doctors.
Yeah, all professions.
Right, but let me give some examples. Why? Because there's money in it.
Well, doctors and lawyers are
There's
the
money
two
in
big
it.
ones.
There are lawyers who become lawyers, attorneys, that are lousy attorneys. I have a friend of mine who's got an attorney that's absolutely horrible. I think you know who I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I know what you're talking about.
Horrible attorney. I had a horrible attorney years ago as well. They get into it because there's money in it. Is there anything wrong in saying people get into careers because they want to make money? Of course not. Everybody wants to live a decent life, right? A buying power, quality of life.
Yeah.
But when you're doing it just for money alone, you're not passionate about what you're doing. You're just thinking of the money. You end up not being as good as those that actually do care. When our dad was in the hospital in intensive care, I had to kick a nurse out of his room. Remember that?
Yeah.
I kicked a nurse out of the room. I told her, get the F out of this room. I don't want to see your effing face again.
When he had his...
Now, remember, the head nurse
Yeah.
pulled me aside and said, you know what, don't feel bad about what you said. This woman shouldn't be here, but we can't get rid of her.
Yeah, yeah.
The other nurses
Yeah.
didn't like her, knew she was horrible.
Well, when he had that one heart attack, I was in Iowa when that happened. There was a doctor at the hospital who wanted to give him a pacemaker. His doctor, his personal doctor,
Yes, and you don't...
showed up, who was a cardiologist. I don't know if he told you, but he told me, that guy, he's going on vacation next week, he needs the extra money.
Yeah.
And he did not need a pacemaker. They put a stent in him, he was fine, that was it.
We talked about our last episode about that person that I knew who had the therapist.
Yeah, yeah.
That made her so dependent on him,
Yeah.
she couldn't make a decision, even buying a car, without calling her therapist.
Yeah, that's not a good
About
therapist.
purchasing an automobile.
That is
About
not-
going on a date with someone. Had to talk to the therapist first. That's not a good therapist.
That's definitely not a good therapist.
Again, I know there are people who say, what do you mean? I want to make money. Agreed, right? Agreed. But aren't you going to be much better at something if you're passionate about what you're doing?
Yeah.
Look at artists.
Yeah, look at
Struggle
artists.
for years.
Yeah. And then they die and they make it big.
Even actors,
Even actors, yeah.
singers, artists that have put out songs which they knew this song isn't going to be
Anything.
a big hit.
Yeah.
But to me, I love this song. I've heard artists when they're asked, "What's your favorite song?" It's a song that you wouldn't even know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's happened a lot of times.
It's
yeah.
it's not their hits. It's
Yeah.
that one song that most of us never heard.
Yeah.
That's their favorite song of their
Well,
own.
You look at a lot of these guys, well, especially back when they still had 45s, the A and B side.
Yeah, the A&B song.
The A and B side. The A side was the big
Yeah.
hit. The B side, a lot of times, was better than the other one.
Yeah, but that's the one you didn't hear on the radio.
That's the one you didn't hear on the radio.
You didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
Or if you bought an LP and played the whole LP,
whole thing.
you'd hear songs. I remember Journey and songs that I knew from them and other bands that I never heard on the radio.
Yeah, exactly.
I had the LPs, and I would just play them out, and it was a lot of songs. Right? It was
Oh, yeah.
songs on both sides.
Yeah. Oh,
And then
yeah.
you would hear songs that I never heard this song. How come I never heard this song?
Because they didn't play it on the radio.
Because the record producers decide on which one's going to be the money
Which one's
makers.
the- exactly.
The money makers.
Those are the
and
ones
the
they're gonna
radio
push.
stations will play those.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get off track. I'm just saying, but people that have a passion for something are going to be much better at what they do. They're going to be better. Their clients or their patients or whoever is going to appreciate them more, get better service, right? Because they care about what they do. And going back to this young man, he wasn't concerned about money. Now, also a different genre, right?
Yeah.
If you're a young man who wants to be a rapper, you're thinking of women in
yeah,
bikinis and a mansion with cars out in the parking and spread all over the yard.
Yeah, an entourage and all this stuff.
An entourage, people, admiring you, the money. I guess in his genre of classical music, it was more about the art.
And there's more art in classical music than there ever will be in rap.
Really? You think?
Yeah.
You're gonna go out on a limb on that
Yeah,
one?
I'm going to go out on a limb. I would say classical, yeah.
I've seen comedians rapping. They're not rappers rapping better than a lot of rappers.
Yeah.
Because they're actors.
Yeah, they're actors.
They're good at what
Yeah.
they do. They know how to imitate someone or
Right.
But again, he wasn't about money. It wasn't about I want women just hanging all over
He's
me.
about his art.
It was about the art.
Yeah.
About the art, and I also
Yeah,
wanted to say this, which I think is very important. He was using this goal in his life,
Yeah.
this art, to also help his personal life, better his personal
yeah.
life, and correct
Yeah.
his past mistakes.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. At 20, you're already saying, all right, I've made mistakes,
And
I need to correct them
Don't
to
forget,
not make them again.
If he once he
This is
he's into
magic.
he's into classical music, and he gets he starts dealing with people in the classical music business. It's a whole different type of people. I mean, he's dealing with more educated people that will appreciate his music,
More appreciative.
more appreciative of his music, maybe even help him out with his music.
Just
who knows?
a totally different
Totally different.
audience.
Totally different audience.
And I said to him, listen, you do what you love. And I told him, I promised him this. You will have people that will like what you do.
Oh, definitely.
You will. I mean, there are people that can do a video doing burping sounds or farting sounds, and they'll have followers and people that, oh, God, that's great. Oh, it's hilarious. Oh, I love it.
Well, speaking of farting, you had this guy named Lepedemain. He was a famous French farter. That's what he done. So he got up on stage and he farted. Something
Well, that's-
Lepedemain.
Everybody has their own skill set.
In fact, in Blazing Saddles, the governor was actually named Lepedemain, which was after him.
But so I just wanted to bring this young man up, and for young people, if any young person is watching this, to think about that. Here you have a young man that's focused on something, not just for a career in his case, right? Not just a career thing that I want to do, or just a passion as well, but also using this passion to correct his life going forward, to make his life better as a person going forward because he's had issues in the past. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think if your passion is about just money, not something you have in your heart, in your soul, your passion for it, it's not the same thing if it's just about money. Because you can do something that you're very passionate about, enjoy so much, and the money can come anyway.
Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
bonus.
Exactly.
And you're happy
Yeah.
because you're doing something you enjoy. I also told the young man too, hey, listen, your type of music, it can spread into something else. You can create something else. It's limitless. Limitless to what you can do. And I told him especially the fact that you're analyzing, thinking, strategizing.
I mean, you look on YouTube alone, all these people are doing music. I mean, instrumental, say, people you've never even heard of, and they're good.
Some of them are great.
Yeah.
We listen to a lot of different stuff, bagpipe music, foreign music. I mean, we do because it's available to us and we want to be and know what's out there. And a lot of stuff we enjoy. Some stuff we don't enjoy. That's fine. It's trial and error.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So next time Shannon and Lily will be here. This is Magic. He's our rescue. He's our rescue cat. He's sleepy, so he's pretty much worthless right now.
He's had a rough day.
He was on death row and we rescued him. This is years ago. We've had him for years. But he's struggling right now because he's very tired. He's had a lot of stuff going on.
Well, yeah, he had to wake up from point A and move over to point B to sleep, so that kind of
And walk over to the food bowl and eat.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's all
It's a rough
very,
day.
it's all very traumatizing.
Traumatizing.
So he's got to rest to get his energy back. All right, folks. Well, listen. We want everybody to wish you all well. Think about that young man. Positive thoughts, as I have, and please follow us on YouTube. And if you can subscribe, we'd appreciate it. And follow us on Twitter. And if you can't, give us a thumbs up. And we will talk to you again very soon. Take care, everyone, and be well.